The casket of that unknown soldier was carried from the rotunda to Arlington National Cemetery under a military escort.
Americans give so much value to even unknown
Behind
soldiers.
the caisson bearing the flag-draped casket.
Hey guys, it's the Loud Guys. Today we are going to watch the story of the tomb of the unknown soldier. So I have seen the video about the tomb of the unknown soldier, but you haven't. So
You haven't seen this?
so not this video. I've seen the tomb of the unknown soldier. I don't know the story behind it, but I know the
What
tomb.
is tomb of
So this is a place where they have, kept a tomb. Like, we have seen there are tombs in India too. Those
on the base of the names of great warriors
or
and all.
soldiers or like Amar Jawan Jyoti and these kind of
I
things.
know.
So those places. So that is the tomb of unknown soldiers. So unknown soldiers, they don't know who were there, but for them they have made this. So that is what I know. But the whole story, I think so we will get to know about this. And the best part about that tomb is like they still protect it.
Oh,
Even though there is nothing
they're
there.
taking care of it, right?
Even though there is nothing, like, okay, it is a tomb only, but how we see in India, the tombs are not protected, but there are people and there is procession and everything is done. So let's see what this story is. So let's start the video. The story of the unknown soldier.
Not every soldier is recognized for his heroic actions. Indeed, one of the countless tragedies of war is that the bodies of many soldiers are never even identified. On August 3rd, 1956, 3 years after the end of the Korean War, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill to select and pay tribute to the unknown soldiers of the Korean War and World War II. These soldiers would be buried in the tomb of the unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. The tomb of the unknowns was created in response to the mass casualties of World War I. The idea of honoring the unknown dead, of which there were so many in World War I, began in Great Britain in 1920.
Oh, wow.
Then, in March 1921, the U.S. Congress approved a plan to return the body of an unknown American soldier from the war and bury him with full honors in a tomb to be constructed at the Memorial Amphitheater in Arlington National Cemetery.
All of them deserve it.
On Memorial Day, 1921, 4 unknown soldiers were exhumed from 4 World War I American cemeteries in France. They were placed in 4 identical caskets and set before a highly decorated veteran of that war, U.S. Army Sergeant Edward F. Younger. Sergeant Younger ceremonially selected one casket. He later spoke of his decision.
I was left alone in the chapel. There were 4 coffins, all unmarked and unnamed. The one that I placed the roses on would be the one brought home and placed in the National Shrine.
Oh.
I walked around the coffins 3 times. Then suddenly I stopped. What caused me to stop, I don't know. It was as though something had pulled me. I placed the roses on the coffin in front of me. I can still remember the odd feeling that I had, standing there alone.
The chosen unknown was transported to the United States aboard the USS Olympia. Those remaining were interred in the Meuse-Argonne Cemetery, France. The selected unknown lay in state at the Capitol Rotunda until midnight on November 10th, 1921. On November 11th, Armistice Day, the casket of that unknown soldier was carried from the Rotunda to Arlington National Cemetery under a military escort.
Americans give so much value to even unknown
Behind the
soldiers.
caisson bearing the flag-draped casket walked President Harding, Vice President Coolidge, Chief Justice Taft, and the other justices of the Supreme Court, members of the Cabinet, Senate, and House of Representatives, generals and other distinguished officers from America's wars, and recipients of the Medal of Honor. President Harding officiated at the interment ceremonies at the Memorial Amphitheater at Arlington National Cemetery. he conferred upon the unknown soldier the Medal of Honor and
Wow.
the Distinguished Service Cross.
The highest
Representatives
medal.
of foreign governments allied with the U.S. in World War I participated as well, bestowing upon the unknown their own highest military awards. The United States reciprocated this gesture, honoring an unknown soldier from nations of France, Great Britain, Belgium, Italy, and Romania with the Medal of Honor. In the history of the Medal of Honor, these are the only 5 instances in which the award was presented to a foreign soldier.
Oh.
After World War II, plans were made for the selection and burial of an unknown from that war. But fighting in Korea broke out before the selection process had begun, and the decision was made to postpone until a more appropriate time. That time turned out to be 1958, when unknowns from World War II and the Korean War were selected for burial in the Tomb of the Unknowns.
So that's how
that
it
is a
The
got.
final selection of the unknown from the Korean War took place on May 15th, 1958. All of the unknown war dead from that war had been buried in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. In that place, 4 candidates for burial in the Tomb of the Unknowns were placed in identical caskets draped with American flags. Master Sergeant Ned Lyle, a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross for heroic action in Korea, was designated to make the final selection.
Oh, so they have to just
He
select
placed a
any
wreath
one of them.
blue and white carnations on one casket and saluted the remains of the soldier inside.
Wow.
The selection of the World War II unknown took place 11 days later aboard the USS Canberra.
Canberra.
Earlier stages of the selection process had resulted in 1 remaining candidate from the European Theater of Operations and 1 candidate from the Pacific Theater. Hospital Corpsman First Class William R. Charette, recipient of the Medal of Honor for actions in the Korean War, made the final selection. The selected unknown, along with the unknown from the Korean War, arrived in Washington on May 28, 1958. They lay in state in the Capitol Rotunda until 1 p.m. on May 30th.
Everything is so taken
As the
care of.
procession moved toward Arlington National Cemetery, the 2 caissons, each carrying 1 unknown, traveled side by side. When they reached the cemetery, they shifted into a column led by the caisson bearing the World War II unknown soldier. As the caissons entered the cemetery, 20 jet fighters and bombers passed overhead, with 1 plane missing from each formation.
Oh, to mark respect.
The casket of the World War II unknown soldier was placed in front of President Eisenhower, and the Korean War unknown soldier in front of Vice President Nixon. The Marine Band played the national anthem, and then a bugler sounded attention 3 times. After a long moment of silence, President Eisenhower placed a Medal of Honor on each casket.
Wow.
The unknowns of World War II and the Korean War were interred in the plaza beside their World War I comrade. The tomb sarcophagus was placed above the grave of the unknown soldier of World War I in April 1931.
Oh.
The sarcophagus is constructed of 7 rectangular pieces of white marble, together weighing 79 tons.
Wow.
On the west panel of the sarcophagus,
Honored glory
facing
of
the
your
amphitheater,
Known
are
but
the
to God.
words,
That was
"Here
sweet, na?
rests, in honored glory, an American soldier, known but to God."
Wow.
Wow.
Not unknown, known but to
On the
God.
east panel, facing the Capitol, 3 Greek figures have been sculpted. On the left stands Peace, holding a dove in one hand.
Wow.
On the right stands Valor, bearing a broken sword in his hands. In the center stands Victory, holding hands with Peace while extending an olive branch to Valor.
Wow.
Wow.
The north and south
Such
panels
meaningful things.
present a total of 6 inverted wreaths, each representing a major campaign of World War I. West of the sarcophagus are the crypts of unknowns from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Those 3 graves are marked with white marble slabs that lie flush with the plaza.
This is so important site.
Since April 6, 1948, the tomb of the unknown soldier has been guarded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year,
See,
regardless of
24
weather.
hours guarded.
In blazing sun, freezing snow, and even in the face of hurricanes, the sentinels continue their watch.
Wow.
The sentinels, members of the 3rd Infantry, or Old Guard, are famous for the precision of their march and changing of the guard. The sentinel marches 21 steps across a black mat, past the crypts of each unknown. He then makes a crisp 90-degree turn to face east for 21 seconds.
For
He
21
then
seconds
makes another
precise.
90-degree turn, facing north for 21 seconds.
Wow.
A crisp shoulder
They're
arms
counting in their
movement.
mind.
I don't
Places
know
the
how
rifle
do
on
they
the
do that.
shoulder nearest the visitors to signify that the sentinel stands between the tomb and any threat.
Oh.
After that moment, the sentinel paces 21 steps north, turns, and repeats the process.
Wow.
Every hour during the winter and every half hour during summer daylight hours, the sentinels conduct the changing of the guard ceremony. As the new sentinel approaches the relief commander, slowly and with great precision, conducts a white glove inspection of the sentinel's weapon.
Oh.
The two then march to the center of the mat, where the active sentinel stops his walk, and all 3 men salute the tomb.
Wow.
The relief commander instructs the active
Such an
sentinel,
instructed,
"Pass
strategized
on your
thing.
orders." The sentinel replies,
That's how
"Post
you
and
pay
orders
respect to your
remain as
soldiers.
directed."
Great.
Even to the unknown
The
ones.
relieving sentinel responds, "Orders acknowledged." The relieving sentinel then steps into position at the center of the black mat. The relief commander and relieved sentinel exit, and the new sentinel begins his march. The unknown soldiers serve to remind us that not all actions of valor are witnessed and recorded in war. We do not know the stories of these men, but we know they gave their lives in a war they did not start to
Yes.
protect the freedom of
Of our-
people who would never know their names. They demonstrate the courage and heroism of every man and woman who goes into combat in service of their nation. They will face threats we can hardly imagine in an attempt to eliminate the dangers that are posed to the men in the trench beside them.
Yes. Very, very sad story. And the way they showed it, it just showed that how like they strategize everything.
Also, they are like eternally dedicated towards those soldiers.
And the thing is, like it is said now that everything that world does, US does it better and bigger. And this is what you can see. Like I've never seen that anywhere else.
But why they have put on, security for that?
It is just a way of marking that you are known for us and you are real for us. So even there is, this is a mark that we are still standing for you, and if anybody comes between you, it's us that we are
It's
protecting
us,
you. And that is a very big thing for
Or
all
they
the
have given life, their whole life.
and for all the soldiers that are going to go now will feel like, okay, like these people respect us.
Yeah, they care about it. It's not like just they are the soldiers and they are, taking the bullet and they are gone. No, they are literally respecting them.
And many people go to visit this place. Even I, if I go to USA, I'll surely go to this place. This is not one of those places that is mentioned on travel websites, but I think so. This is one place that
I
you
would
should
love
go.
to hear the story again over there.
Yeah, because there you will understand more of how
Emotions.
the whole thing goes. So, what are your thoughts about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So, do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.